Kamala's breeding ground. That is Kamala's city right there. We need to spread San Francisco and the state of San Francisco everywhere. There is no reason why San Francisco should not be getting talked about right now. This is the number one thing we have against her record, and nobody's talking about it. Insanity. San Francisco is getting worse by the day. The new California state legislature that gives illegal immigrants free money to get housing. We should be talking about this every single day, guys. And I mean, I'm going to keep it short. I'm on daddy duty right now, but that was kind of my comment, is we have to start spreading the actual truth of San Francisco out there. It was way worse than Minnesota. It is still way worse than Minnesota. Minneapolis has nothing on San Francisco right now. We need to be spreading the truth of San Francisco everywhere. If San Francisco residents are not going to do it because they are still blinded, then the rest of America needs to do it, because it is a warning sign to everybody of what is going to come. I mean, it's already happening. It's already happened there. It's starting to happen in the inner cities of LA. People shitting on the Hollywood Walk. Are we serious right now? Like, we need to be spreading this actual reality everywhere, because it is scary. It happens very quickly. Gavin Newsom was the mayor of the city when it started getting destroyed. Gavin Newsom is now the governor of California and is best friends with Kamala Harris, and he will no doubt have a position in the cabinet. We need to start spreading this reality everywhere. And maybe if we start actually expressing the truth of California, we can even start flipping that state. I mean, we have to remember there was a generation that voted overwhelmingly for Reagan in that state, and we need to get back to that. But yeah, that's my only comment, guys. Thanks for the time.
One, two. Let's go to our friend Miss Positive. She's all about making everyone feel special, no matter the circumstances. And what do you got for us, Miss Positive?
Oh my God! Well, that was such a sweet compliment. Thank you so much. I do try, and people say, "Well, you're not always positive." Well, into other states. It's not a joke. Follow my timeline and push that out, please. Because there's a gentleman here that's correct, and I don't want to make any of y'all cry, but it makes me so sick to hear. Charisma Springs has a child entrapment camp. It's on my timeline. It's been videoed. It's very sick. It's been there for probably 2 years, and they're growing it. It's sad. And who's the largest trafficking organization, NGO? Southwest Keys and Compass Connections out of San Pedro Boulevard, 1604. Everybody knows where that is. Follow Hernando Arce. He's got it. I've posted it. I've asked Ken Paxton.
We lost you there, Miss Positive. 1, 2. Did you hide behind a wall? Did you duck into a bunker? Because we're not hearing you, Miss Positive. But we loved what you were sharing.
Hopefully she wasn't busted by Deep State.
Oh, you know. It could, yeah, hopefully. Let's go to Bridget. Bridget's got something for us. She's been waiting a bit. Bridget's on X with us. Welcome, Bridget.
Hi, this is Bridget. I'm in the swing state of Georgia. I've served on my county GOP board as well as at the district level. I wanted to speak a little bit to the election integrity efforts that were being discussed a little bit ago. I just wanted to pass on some encouragement, at least from the swing state of Georgia. We have a House and Senate Republican majority that passed some strong election integrity bill, SB 202, back in 21 or 22. And, it always could be stronger. There's always things we would have wanted a little bit stronger, but we got a lot of election integrity things passed that are going to go a long way in preventing some of the things that we saw in 2020. As you all know, Georgia, quote unquote, was lost to Trump by like 11,000 votes in 2020. And the election integrity efforts that have been put in place by our Congress has really prevented a lot of the methods that they used in 2020. For instance, we didn't get rid of the drop boxes completely. However, they're basically a moot point at this point because instead of them being out in the open and available 24/7, now there's only one per county, and it's located in the early voting building and only available during early voting business hours. So, like in my county, it's in the my mind went blank on the word, but basically it's inside the building where early voting takes place. And speaking to the poll watching, we actually did and plan to do poll watching on the drop box. So even though it's indoors now, we put a poll watcher sitting next to the drop box in addition to a poll watcher sitting in where the early voting takes place. And then we also put poll watchers at each precinct on voting day. So we took that very seriously. I'm in District 14 with Marjorie Taylor Greene. We have been considered one of, if not the most conservative districts in the nation. And we have a huge voter turnout problem. If our district would show up to vote, we would get, our choice would be passed in every election. Hands down. We are a strong conservative state. Like I said, our House is GOP led. Our Senate is GOP led. We have a GOP governor. We have a GOP lieutenant governor. The new lieutenant governor is a very strong conservative, pro-Trump. And I know Kemp and Trump have made up recently as well. So I think that goes a long way in encouraging those what we would consider more rhino-leaning Republicans to get out and vote for Trump, I think, and binding that relationship. But I just wanted to pass on some encouragement about things that we've done. Additionally, in addition to the changes to drop boxes, also now all mail-in ballots have to be counted first. So we will not see a 3 a.m. dump in the state of Georgia on election night. So that's a huge win. Our voting numbers should be easy to tally once precincts close that night because everything else had to already be counted prior to voting day. So that's going to be a huge win. So I feel more confident that we are going to have one of the fairest elections in Georgia that we've seen. And I feel confident that Georgians can go to the poll knowing that their vote is going to count now more than ever rather than being canceled out by a fraudulent vote. And I think that aspect may be one of the bigger aspects that keeps our voters in District 14 and at home because they feel like, what's the point? You know, if they're just going to cheat, why vote? But I just want to pass on that encouragement to Georgia voters as well as voters across the nation, especially in states where their Senate and House have passed some strong election integrity bills, that your vote's going to count. We've got to, make it too big to rig, just like Trump says. And so feel encouraged, and that's all I have to say. So
yeah, and I do want to say that you're in Georgia, I'm in Pennsylvania. If you don't think that your activity matters, just think of this. Trump winning these two states could nail down the election. That's 35 electoral college votes for him. That's 35. That's enough that might be exactly what it takes to just put Kamala down like Old Yeller. So it's a very powerful thing if he pulls Georgia and Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. And one other thing I did want to mention, one of the things we did for the midterms when I was working as kind of an IT resource at our district level, I have a web development IT background. things we did for the midterms when I was working as kind of an IT resource at our district level, I have a web development IT background. So what I did is I got with through our district GOP in communication to the state, we were able to log into basically a voter database that the GOP maintains. And I did an export of like all the Republican voters in our district. And within a matter of like an hour, I took that whole export of tens of thousands of voters, I uploaded it into like an automated calling web app, and I recorded a message for each of our counties that was specific to their county, like, hey, such and such county, get out and vote. And so we were able to make tens of thousands of calls within a matter of an hour or two with an online service that lets you upload those CSV files of voter data. And we left, and then we could see how many calls were made. We could see how many live answers we had. We could see how many voicemails were left. And it was a very cost-efficient and time-efficient way to simply get out a reminder to vote, get out a reminder to register to vote. So that's another method that can be used in addition to the other things that have been mentioned, like postcards and door-to-door.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for everything that you're doing in Georgia. In that District 13, I think you said it is, we need to get every person to turn out. And that's one of those districts that's so red that all you really need to do, you don't have to do as much micro-targeting. You can macro-target that district and just drive the turnout so that if we see District 13 is getting a huge turnout above 2020 levels, above 2016 levels, Georgia's going to be in good shape. So thank you for what you're doing there.
Absolutely. And that's District 14. But yes, we are like super red, and it's just a matter of getting our people to the polls. It's not even about convincing them to vote for Trump. So yeah.
And I believe, I don't know the exact boundaries of District 14, but that's one of those places with a lot of truckers, a lot of hunters, a lot of these type of men that work in those industries that might not be there and available November 5th, but they can definitely take advantage of that in-person early voting that Georgia has actually had for 20 years now and get their vote cast, banked, and then they don't have to worry about showing up on November 5th itself.
Absolutely. And we also allow registration up to October 7th. We don't do same-day registration, but you still have a good 2 months to register.
While I try to find your swimmies and stuff? We gotta get a couple things organized, so I'll find your swimmies and everything.
I just got a live mic. Jennifer, we're tuning in live to what sounds like some excellent stuff. Let's go back to Miss Positive was waiting. We're having a little technical difficulty. Miss Positive, what do you got for us?
Thank you again, but gosh, every time I'm on a really important topic, guess who knocks me out? It's really sad. I get locked out. I wonder why. When I start talking about child trafficking and who the largest companies are, they kick me out. Shame on them. So, real importantly, I would like someone who does spaces a lot, just listen to my topic and see what you think. And I love your title, Unity. Everybody wants that. But what I really want, because when I'm going to do my door knocking and when I send out my flyers, one flyer that pulls the heartstrings, and I'm very articulate in making my decision, am I going to show them this or not? But the agenda of this transgender and forcing these children into thinking in kindergarten that they're in the wrong body is pure evil. So I fold over my flyer of a child that's been cut up, and I hold it back because when I'm talking to, and I don't ask them who they're voting for, I just tell them what the issues are. And I don't say I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. I just say we have got to vote for the right side of this world and save our children. And I give them information on TAGS, which is out of Texas, formed in 1995 under Clinton Foundation. It's the largest NGO all over the world You can see it on my timeline. You can see that the other reporters independently have the pictures, the videos of the facts. So I hold back those two and I tell them, we're at this point. Why are Democrats wanting communism? And why do they want to do child mutilation and transgender changing their body? Why do they want that? And I was wondering if you want to change your title of your space and say it's either freedom, or ask yourself, why do Democrats vote for communism? And I'm wondering, which is horrible, because I don't think these people think what the policies are. And nobody's done, I mean, we do a great message, but the people like, and I'm not targeting her, I'm just saying, I know what she's for. She's for abortion after they're born. She's for abortion. She's for more illegals coming in here. If you don't think the illegals are not going to take over, they are. And they're already being planted. And like the sheriff has said, you're on your own. And nobody's thinking about, well, I'm in a red state, I'm a red county. Well, Texas has a lot of blue counties, and they're starting to freak out now. But now it's becoming too late because Title 42 is gone. So if you want to run your space and just say, why do Democrats vote for communism? Please explain. And I'm wondering, we could get more people into these spaces, and I want it to keep going on and on, because literally they're on these one issue, which it's not, that issue is important, but losing our freedom and fighting off these illegals, I want them to tell me, how are they going to do it? Who's going to help them? And I want them, because Aurora is now going into Boulder, Colorado. Aurora is actually happening in Texas, but they're not talking about it because they're told you can't report that as the news, but the only people that can report it is people in spaces. So I put out George Breezy. He said, what is the October surprise? Look at that video. It's for real. It's not going to be 5 million illegals. It's going to be more than that. And where are they? They're at the airports. And they're at San Antonio Airport. They're in Dallas.
In Phoenix.
They're at the DFW. Yeah, Phoenix. Everywhere. But we don't have it. They won't let you as a reporter, independent reporter, go in there and say that. So if anybody wants to hold the space and just say, please, I'm begging you, tell me about the policies that you think that's good for you. Because you keep saying, well, it's not bothering me right now. Oh, it'll bother you October and the rest of forever long. It's going to be forever long, because that's for policies. And people are seeing what's happening in California. Well, look what happened today. Look what happened to Kamala's district, where she came out of. They're screaming and hollering. The legislators are saying, if you don't give us reparations, we're not voting for you. And they're attacking their capital now. We'll multiply that with the illegals.
Hey, Ms.
Thank
Positive.
you for letting me speak.
Great Ms. Positive.
Topics. So we got to keep signing up.
I would like to make one point about that, though. All of the most successful salespeople in the world, they know that the road to failure is to spend all of your time downing the other product. When you knock on a door, if you have and incorporate some of the things in a positive sense, in fact, you can do it in the form of a question about what you're going to do, about what Trump's going to do, about why it makes a difference to them and their lives. For instance, you mentioned the word free speech because it's an issue. You throw it in there. And if you ask a question, if Trump delivers on his promise to control the border, to end these foreign wars, and to make us energy independent while preserving our free speech, would he earn your vote? You see, I'm talking about what we're doing, because just like she said, they're not talking about what they're doing. This is the road to failure. They're hiding what they're doing. This makes it very powerful. We have all the ideas on our side, so let's put them out there. Say what we believe. Be very positive about it. You don't even have to mention the other person, because it's their responsibility to represent the features and benefits, if you will, of their product. And it's a crappy product.
I can tell you, I was just recently taking what other things really concern. Oh, somebody else in
front of me, okay?
No, you were good, man. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, just for a second, I was, I do part-time Uber just, because inflation and all that. And I was taking Marines actually, active duty. And their dad is the two brothers, they're in the Marine, and their father is a police officer in San Francisco. And they saying, her father told, if she will become president, that'll be it. She ruined our police department because of her. And that's not only like, it's a real life. You can feel, if you like, I have, that's why I like kind of, Ubering part-time, because you can talk with the people outside. And they're both Marines. Their dad is police officer in San Francisco Police Department. I just moved out recently to Sonoma County because it became ridiculous. And they hate her. The police officers hate her, but they know what pure evil she is and how she ruined the police department in San Francisco, and started with her, not with somebody else, with her. So we need to volunteer. We need to go to the polls, go to poll, be poll watcher. And I think actually Scott Pressler, I see him. Maybe he can give advices to people who want to be volunteer. If he will to talk, that'll be amazing to listen to him, because he knows so much about the poll watching, about register the votes. Because we need actions. We cannot just, talk and only, it's a good thing, but we need actions. I never been poll watcher in my life, and I went and registered in my county, be poll watcher. And I actually passed through.
Hey, Leo, thanks for bringing up that point. And prior to you joining, perhaps Scott Pressler was actually a speaker here and was talking about his efforts. I know he's down as a listener now.
Yeah.
He's super busy. He runs a burgeoning organization that's gotten, has employees, has recruited thousands and tens of thousands coming up, volunteers. They're trying to onboard them, but one way you can do it, download Early Vote Action on your phone. If you haven't done it, please do that right away.
Yeah, and the second point, what was scary from his talk, we talked about him, like a lot of military guys supporting Trump, they know all that bullshit they, pushing by Arlington, it's all fake, because in reality, military loves him. And because he respects...
That is backfiring. Leo, that is backfiring big time against them. They stepped on a grenade there. They are idiots.
Yeah, they
and like complete fools.
But the one thing he told me really concerned, that they start talking with each other, military talking too, that they concerned that could be big war in between 3 months and a year. And that's really scary, that they want to maintain power. It's not only his point. I think was like Tucker Carlson pointed that we need to really, by our volunteering, I think we will, if we will not get elected Trump, we will get in a big war too. And if military talking about this, that's a bad sign. That's a really bad sign. That's a bad sign how it's going, that, they talk it that, because they got more deployments right now than been before in the last couple months. They started deploying more people out, out either in a different countries, and that's a not good sign. So we need to really volunteer. We need to work on it. We need to really make America peaceful again. Actually, I think it's a really good point. We need a peace. We need peace around. We need people live their lives, enjoy lives. Enjoy making families and affording houses. And I live in California, and that's such a disaster. And actually, all that illegals in the future will go to California. What the Democrats saying, we need to plans them working on, different whatever they saying, any farms. No, they will go, they will go to different places. They will go California. They will just flood it inside, and that's what they do. Why they do that? 150,000. It's crazy. I'm an American citizen. I was born here. I cannot afford to buy a house, and they can have a down payment. And Pelosi openly told that we want more openness to America. That's absolutely bullshit. I think inside her,
I think you'll find. I think you'll find that 90% of us agree 100% with that, and that's why we're working so hard to get Trump elected, to stop this flow of illegal immigration, human trafficking, fentanyl, flooding across the border, poisoning people, skyrocketing overdose deaths and suicides, and you name it. People just not working and getting hooked on these things. That will only change if all of us put in our maximum effort to register voters and chase ballots to get Trump elected. Now, we're going to go to a couple of hands. I'm going to get to some speakers first, and then anybody that does come up to speak, if you disagree with these efforts, we're all here. A lot of people are previous RFK supporters that are with Trump now. A lot of us were MAGA for 8 years straight. If you disagree with this, we will give you a chance, a couple minutes to speak your mind, but you're not going to be able to bulldoze the rest of us. You will have to give a chance for people to reply to you. It's a two-way street. If you want to speak your mind, you have to also be willing to listen to the feedback. If you don't agree with that, this is not the space for you. But if you are willing to engage in a dialogue and listen to what other people have to say, we will let you speak your points of view. So next we have speaker Travis. He's a Floridian commercial construction super field manager. Travis Walford, if you're there, what's on your mind?
Yo, thanks for bringing me up. I just wanted to say a few things, kind of coattail on what some other people were saying. It sounds like there's a lot of people who are pretty heavily involved in getting out locally and trying to bring in new voters that way. But also scrolling down into the listener panel, I count about 140 or 150 listeners who do not have a blue check mark next to your name. I would encourage anyone who hasn't already to sign up for X Premium Plus. It greatly amplifies your voice on the platform. And a recent phenomenon has come up. Everybody knows about TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, but there's also another thing called EDS, Elon Derangement Syndrome, where basically because of his support for free speech, many people have been outraged by Elon Musk's activities. And it seems to be a feature primarily of the left that they do not support free speech. It doesn't matter if you're on the right or the left. You should support free speech no matter what. And for anyone who's like kind of on the fence of like, what is the benefit of signing up for a premium? I don't really come in spaces a whole lot, like get up and speak on spaces a whole lot. I'm not really a very good public speaker, to be honest. But if I am a reply guy,
I think you're great, by the way. You should speak more in spaces.
Thanks. I'm going to try. I've just got to find my voice in terms of getting up there on the stage. And I usually got to look. I do sometimes. I just got to look for a good entry of something that I can kind of connect with. So for a while before I actually had my account that's just me, I was like an anonymous meme account, and I had probably about 12,000 followers, I think, before I shut it down. I would say anyone who's a meme account or who's like anonymous, they should probably just throw that by the wayside, because you're never really going to get those hard-hitting connections by being just an anonymous profile. And when you can see people and see who they really are, then it's a lot more hard-hitting. But that being said, I'm a bit of a reply guy in the comments, and I'm aggressively trying to grow my account. And for anyone who's on the fence about what is the benefit of Premium Plus, you can go on my page and look at my my most recent pinned post, where I'm not a big account. I have 637 followers, and I recently made a reply to an account that's sitting at 230,000 views right now. And so that's just the power of having the Premium Plus account. When you don't have the blue check mark, you're basically invisible to everyone else. And on the left, there's a great percentage of people who will sit on this platform, and because of their EDS, Elon Derangement Syndrome, they will refuse to sign up for the platform. And when you sign up for Premium Plus, you're not just benefiting yourself, you're benefiting the platform as a whole, and you're providing the funds necessary to further free speech on a global scale, not just in the United States. So that's kind of what I wanted to say. I mean, I don't think it really gets said enough that if you're sitting here and you're like replying or you're posting on X and you're not a premium account, you're basically not being seen. And I would like to provide a tip to anyone who I've just managed to hopefully change one or two people's mind. If you are going to sign up, don't sign up through an app store. Go directly to the website and sign up with your credit or debit card. And I would recommend getting the Premium Plus subscription, not one of the lower tiers. If you sign up on the website directly with your credit or debit card, you avoid paying the 30% rate to like the Apple App Store. So, for example, I pay $16 a month instead of paying $23 a month. And also, that makes your account sort of delinked from your device. So should you ever have the unfortunate experience of getting banned for any reason, you can go and start up a new account rather easily. But that's mostly what I wanted to say about that. And then also I wanted to just chime in real quick on the election. It seems that the Kamala Harris campaign is entirely a campaign that is designed to appeal to the stupid people in society and the low information people. And you can see that with basically the whole $25,000 home credit thing. And then also the other thing which people don't really mention a whole lot is the absurdity of the thing where they said they're going to build 3 million or so new homes. I've been a general contractor for many years now, and I can tell you there is nobody to build those homes. A lot of people, instead of learning to swing a hammer for a job, they decided to go to college and become a liberal blogger or something like that and just work at Starbucks their whole life. There's the people who are worth the shit in terms of building new homes, and because it's really, the home thing is an inflation problem, but it's also a supply problem, which has to do with inflation. Homes are much like Bitcoin in a way. There's only so many of them, and it's just a measure of liquidity. So when they inflate the currency, they drive the home prices up because there's more dollars chasing fewer goods. And it's not like greedy landlords or something like that. I mean, I would say there is a problem with like these Wall Street firms buying up a bunch of homes, but it's more a problem of the inflated currency. And the only thing that I can surmise when it comes to saying that you're going to build 3 million new homes is that she's going to do something where it's trying to drive more illegals into the construction building industry. And this is like the California model of construction. There was a documentary that came out a while back where they interviewed, I forget who they were interviewing, but basically what happens is they try to reduce the construction workers to like sort of like single widget type people. So like instead of like someone who can like hang drywall and finish drywall and do framing, they have like a person who can only do drywall finishing, or they can only hang drywall, and they just do one repetitive task. And basically what that does is it lowers the standards. So I can only guess that because the construction industry is so fragmented, that's what they would try to do, is try to incentivize, I don't know if maybe it's bigger companies like larger home builders or something, to have more illegals on their job site. And what that does is that reduces, like anywhere else, that makes for an unsafe workplace for the people who are actual U.S. citizens there. And that's mostly what I wanted to say. Her campaign is appealing to dummies.
Travis, thanks for that insight on the home building and construction. I'm sure you could probably host a space just on, what that's all about. I'm familiar with a lot of people that are involved, general contractors, builders, etc. There is a lot to get into there, but thank you for your contributions and thanks for coming up to speak. And I hope to see you in more spaces coming up to the floor to speak. Now, I want to go to another
hold on 1 second, because I do actually want to comment on this. My father is the vice president of a major construction company out in the East Coast called Skanska. And one of the Boston, and in Boston, and one of the things he told me is that it's cheaper for him to get steel from China than it is from Pittsburgh. So a place that is only a few states away is more expensive than a place that is almost all the states away and in an entire ocean. That is a messed up world that we live in. And this is what I think Trump's tariffs are really going to hit. He's going to take a huge chunk of that steel business from China and bring it back to Pittsburgh. And we need to make it easier for people to get their goods to and from point A to point B in this country without it costing them an arm and a leg.
Absolutely. And then Travis, as far as the Get Out the Vote initiative, please, we need all the pro-Trump business owners and builders, et cetera, give your guys off November 5th. So they can go vote if they haven't done so already, and to also chase the vote and volunteer. That is so huge. We're getting a number of MAGA business owners that are going to be doing that, restaurant owners, builders, transportation guys that are giving their employees paid off on November 5th, as long as they're involved in some sort of election activity to help drive up the turnout for Trump. And I think that could be huge and monumental in tipping the scales for Trump in this election.
Can I ask something real quick?
Yeah, Jesse, as a matter of fact, you were next, so go ahead. What's on your mind, Jesse?
Hey, Travis, quick question before I get into my spiel. How do you like Trump's plan with his freedom cities? Have you heard anything about it?
Yeah, I don't know that I've heard like too many details about it, but I think to my understanding, it's basically taking currently vacant, like sort of federal land and building new cities there. Is that, to my understanding, is that what it's all about? I didn't.
Yeah, I believe so. What the idea was, we could reduce our debt by selling it to developers or even by plot to spec home builders. It'll increase our supply of homes. It'll also increase the amount of homes being built here, which means more jobs, more, just more money coming into the economy. And I think it'll help with inflation too, from what I understand.
I think it's a great idea, but unfortunately the problem is there's no one to build any of this shit. I work mostly in commercial construction, and it is very difficult to get anything done. It's a very rusty wheel. A lot of the people are very unfocused, and I've noticed an increase in sort of a lack of focus of because I work with the same guys on I have been on the same job sites for years now, and over the past 2 to 3 years, and I don't think any of these people make the connections, but people are struggling, and that when you're working in a job that requires you to focus on stuff, it's not there. I would say that's a great idea, but it should also come in combination with a great reduction or a complete elimination of income tax for construction workers.
Yeah, from what I understand, the idea would be to build new homes in brand new cities, and they'd be kind of like, it would make like a smart grid or a better grid system where all the electrical is buried, because that's one of our biggest problems is our grid. And then it would also allow fiber to be laid and stuff like that. But So I'm originally from California. I moved to Iowa, and it's kind of a rural area, so it's a safe area as far as Trump goes. So there's not a whole lot I can do with helping turn out the vote, probably. But because I mean, everyone here is voting for Trump. Everyone I talk to. But my suggestion
You
to
have
everyone.
a Plus account. You need to reply guy wherever you can.
Oh, I absolutely do. I've been nailing Mark Cuban every chance I can get because I dislike
He's
him.
about to block your ass, man.
Oh, absolutely. Because I don't.
Jesse, can I step in here for a second? And every time I hear somebody say this, I'm in deep blue or deep red area. You know, the votes are banked or locked in here. You can chase the votes in swing states. Early vote action. Download the app. You can make calls, texts, and postcards to voters in Pennsylvania. These are inactive Republican voters. We need to drive them in mass to get registered and turn out to vote. Everybody can do that. There's also TP Action. They're doing the same thing. They're in more states. And then Trump Force 47. You can make calls, text to these voters and get them out in the swing states. So even if you're in a deep blue area, deep red area, you can contact these voters in the swing states. And I just wanted to get that out there.
Oh, absolutely. So what I do is I work for a telecom company. I won't say their name because they're very liberal. But so I work for a telecom company, and you won't believe how many people that I come into contact with every day that will not stop talking about politics and stop talking about the illegals. And we even have illegals coming here in Iowa, which is wild because we're in the Midwest. But I already plan on giving rides to a couple of elderly customers that we have so that they can come and vote. And I try to talk to everyone that I come into contact with because I'm just the phone guy that they can talk to freely, you know. But I will say this should be like a ripple effect. We should start with our closest family members and friends that are apathetic or don't feel like voting. We need to get in there and just say, hey, look, I know you don't think it'll make a difference, but let's vote. Let's go out and vote. I'll take you out for a beer after, or I'll take you out to dinner after. And then we work from there out. And we start going to relatives, distant relatives, friends, college people, coworkers. And I think that's where we're most effective, is where we already have that rapport with people. You know, even if you only have two friends counts, you know. So I would say that, and then we just need to do anything we can to take the country back without there being violence or anything like that. Because
100%. And to add on to that, get the men in your life to vote. Men don't vote at the same rate as women. And in Michigan in 2020, women outvoted men by 8 points, which was disastrous. We got to get the men in your life out to vote.
100%. Men are becoming more and more apathetic. And I'll just say one last thing about construction. I could go on for days about it. But you won't believe how many people in Iowa here are contractors that just don't have work. So I think if we started a Freedom City project, people would travel from out of state to where that city was to come and work. There's a lot of people here that are, because there's not a lot of money here, that want work, but they don't have it, and they do odd jobs. So I think there's more workers that are just forgotten than you could imagine. But yeah. All right, Travis.
All right, thanks, Travis. Can I make a quick point?
Absolutely. Well, we were going to go to Stamp the Vote. He's next, and then we'll get to you, Yellow Jacket. So Stamp the Vote. A great patriot. He is flooding postcards in this avalanche of 1 million that we're sending to Pennsylvania inactive Republicans. So Stamp the Vote. Tell us what's on your mind.
How's it going? I have 2 quick questions. One, I have been searching and searching. When does early voting start in Pennsylvania? I cannot find a date whatsoever, so I'll kind of just put that out there. And 2, I'll put this one out there too, and anyone can kind of just chime in, but how does one request a ballot drop box for a certain location? because I really want to start taking advantage of the SoCal ballot harvesting strategy, which was extremely effective in Southern California, which tilted the state, which actually tilted the House to Republican, because congressional seats that were expected to go blue stayed red. With that said, I really want to start taking advantage of the fraternity vote. I know it sounds kind of silly, but there's over 750,000 members of fraternities. I'm willing to bet most of them probably don't vote. There's over 800 chapters. With that said, I want to start putting ballot drop boxes on their front doors, working with them, registering them, and getting them to vote. We were just talking about how men aren't voting as much as women. We are outnumbered by over 3 million nationally. That tilts dozens of races at the local level, and that can tilt many swing states. So we have to get young men to vote. A Seattle New York Times poll just came out. Trump is winning the Gen Z male vote by 15 points. We have to take advantage of this if we want to win. So how does one get, do we reach out to our local Secretary of State, or how does one recommend, because I know a lot of evangelical churches where I live, they're heavily Republican, and I've seen ballot drop boxes on their front doors as well. So how does one go about that process? Those are my 2 quick questions. Thank you.
Yeah, stamp the vote. Great questions. Pennsylvania early voting begins in 15 days. September 16th, 15 days for Pennsylvania. The first votes will be cast in Pennsylvania in 15 days. So important, such a critical question. And then the drop boxes in California, I don't have that answer, but I will find that out, and I'll make a post about it and post it in the Jumbotron so you could help spread that in Southern California and anybody else in other parts of California. Very critical. It's one of the states where you can request and put ballot drop boxes in all sorts of places, gun stores, churches, outdoor stores, fraternities, other places where we can really drive the turnout towards our side there. I will research more about the process of applying and getting approved for a new Dropbox location. Thank you, Stamp the Vote.
All right, thank you.
All right, and please follow Stamp the Vote. He is doing exactly what I'm doing. My account is Postcards to PA. He stamped the vote. You need a postcard and a stamp to get these postcards delivered to the voters in Pennsylvania. So we're working together. Total coincidence. I love his handle name and what he's doing here. Please follow Stamp the Vote. All right, we're going to go ahead. Yellow Jacket, I hope you heard my disclaimer earlier and agree to abide by that. What is on your mind, Yellow Jacket?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to fight anyone here. I'm just gonna give my opinion. So I don't know, but if you remember, a couple months back, a researcher named Max Azzarello set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial in Manhattan, and he made this this disclaimer to warn everyone that that we are victims of a totalitarian con, and that our own government is about to hit us with a apocalyptic fascist world coup, and that Trump and Hillary are actually working together, and that's why Elon is involved.
Okay.
Wait. Okay, I know it sounds insane, but just you're going to find out the hard way, because I don't know if you remember, but Trump brought COVID 2020.
All right, Yellow Jacket, was that your point about this gentleman who set himself on fire? Don't do that. You will not make a difference by sabotaging yourself. You have to do positive action to get out the vote and get Trump elected.
It's wrong to be realistic based on history and what has happened already. Seeing what Trump has actually done to America, he hasn't actually fixed anything. He was president already.
You mean the no wars thing or the prosperity thing?
Yeah, wait. Yellow Jacket, yeah. The no wars thing, we withdrew out of Syria. The CIA and Obama, they were shipping weapons to ISIS to try to topple Bashar al-Assad. That got discontinued when Trump was in office. He stopped the flow of illegal immigration. He cut down refugee admissions by 90%. He got the Remain in Mexico policy, which slashed the number of people applying for asylum because they had to wait in Mexico. No, all right, you're not cooperating, Yellow Jacket. So
Hold up everything. Hold up here. Now, Postcard, you're not even giving her a chance to speak, which I don't think is very fair.
Hey, Bryce,
You want
Bryce.
to be able, hold on. Don't jump over me, bud. You're in my space. You're in Johnny's space. This is Maha, okay?
I'm part of this. I'm part of this too, Bryce.
Allow her to speak. Do not speak over her. Give her the same courtesy that you want. You've been able to pontificate and talk for a very long time. Maybe it's time to close it and let other people have their say. Okay?
I have been, Bryce, and I don't get the feud that we're having. I don't want that. I don't see it. You're great. But hey, look. So Bryce, this is my example. She's talking over me.
Can you just let me speak, please? And you guys.
Yes. Go. Yellow Jacket. 30 seconds. What's on your mind? Go ahead.
I don't think it's fair for you guys to shut me down for one opinion. I spoke less than like 3 minutes, and you guys are already freaking out on me. I'm not hating on anyone. I'm just trying to point out something that actually happened that is, I think, irrelevant to what's going on. And I'm just pointing out, if you care, look into what was said, look into the manifesto that he wrote, because I have screenshots of it, and it's based on what's coming. I'm not the only one saying this, but remember Agenda 2030, the New World Order, RNC, they had the New World Order on their backstage. I mean, that's a real thing. I know you think I'm crazy, but just look into it. But thank you.
All right, and I do want to point out, Yellow Jacket has come to this space many times and gotten the speaker point of view. She has absolutely been allowed to speak, and we have trouble with her sometimes with talking over other commenters who would like to reply to what she has to say.
That's absolutely not true. First of all, you're lying about me. I waited with my hand up for a long time, okay?
And we let you come to the stage and speak, and you made your point.
Thank you. What's wrong with you? Why are you so hateful? Is there something wrong? Is there something?
All right,
dude, what's your problem? You don't even know me. What's your problem with me?
Well, my problem was in that first space I was in with Johnny, you said that voting doesn't matter because the same thing's going to happen.
I never said that. In fact, do you want to know my opinion, or will you cut me off? Voting, I'm still voting for Trump, guys. I will always do my part. I just think that they're rigged, and you're going to find out, okay?
Can I go back to the? I just have one point, nothing to do with this. A small point, Postcard about Trump's trade policy. When you come up against people, let's not. I heard something earlier about steel. Trump is not trying to close American markets from China. He's trying to open China's American markets to us. So that's economically. This guy has a degree from Wharton in economics, by the way. And people are enumerate when they say, "Oh, he's just tariffs are a tax on us," which actually is true, by the way. But this is a negotiative moment. So when you're knocking on doors, if someone brings this up, don't fall for the trap that Trump is trying to make things more expensive for the foreign companies so that American companies can do business. That would be more like a hard left thing. Trump is saying they are artificially, China, closing their markets to us. They're making it so that we can't do business there. That's a $350 billion trade deficit. And what he's looking for is he's looking to open their market to the point where we get $250 billion of manufacturing coming back to our country. And yet you'll still, because China will fold, 40% of their economy depends upon us. So you'll still be able to buy the things you want from China. This isn't about simply being a nativist in every way in terms of business done in America. That's what the Chinese do. No, this is about fair trade and opening their markets to us, not closing ours to theirs. So I felt like maybe someone left it with a sort of a misapprehension there, and I wanted to set the record straight there.
Can I speak on COVID?
Absolutely. We have some hands, and we want to sort of go through the order so everybody gets their chance to speak. KY415, he's in the heart of the beast, so to speak, in San Francisco. KY, Ken, go ahead.
Thank you. I'm here behind enemy lines of San Francisco, California. But then again, so you know what, Yellow Jacket, I think she's just a lonely girl living in pretty sure we all know the lyrics following by that. Right now, it's just yesterday I came onto the spaces trying to get like an understanding about like these non-conforming like the Trump people who like the DeSantis folks, like they're still going at it. They're still trying to like, I don't know if they're trying to profit off going after is Trump, even though they have DeSantis in their profiles. They have this wild imagination that like, oh, it's better off that we elect Kamala in 2024 and then we elect DeSantis in 2028. I'm sitting over here, I'm like, bitch, that's not gonna happen. Come on, dude. And so right now, I'm just like mentally checked. Like right now, I think I mentioned that like, hey, I was like canvassing for like the so-called moderate mayor of San Francisco, and he turned out to like showcase how he's a white dude for Kamala. I was like, screw that. I got reprimanded. I got berated. I got everything said to me because I was rooting for RFK Jr., but I'm voting for Trump. But other than that, like, what is going on? Where can we find common ground between yourself, Mr. Postcards, and the Yellow Jacket? Like, what is going on here? We're all voting for the same senses, but like when you throw in the DeSantis crew, like the Rufus, Unfiltered Boss, Peter Hyland, that's not even his real name. Peter Hyland, the name, if you look it up on Google, Peter Hyland was the founder of Watches back in Switzerland. And then this guy is the know-all of know-all. So what is going on? I'm sick and tired. I just want us to be united, because what's beauty is that like we're a week out after RFK and Trump joined forces, and I saw unity across across America. I'm coming from San Francisco, but I'm seeing the love from like Louisiana, Arkansas, some people from Pennsylvania, I guess, Michigan, Wisconsin. That's the beauty of America, and we all have the same sense, and we all have the same passion of moving forward. But what I'm scared is like you have all these detractors, the DeSantis, the honey, the Yellow Jackets, like they're all going on this rampant. What the hell are you talking about? Trying to like incorporate astrology. At the end of the day, what do we do, sir? What do we do? And thank you for giving me this board, because I am behind enemy lines, and right now I thought, before coming on here, before being a part of the MAGA, the MAHA, the unity, the beauty, I thought to focus on my local issues, because like San Francisco is a lost cause. But then like it gets me thinking, if we do a Trump, he didn't do shit during like all these like super woke cities. Because you know what? All those who live in like a super woke city, like San Francisco, like a sanctuary city, they're just gonna go super woke. They're just gonna go super radical, and nothing gets taken care of. So that's my feeling. It's like a double-edged sword. Vote for Trump. We're gonna like move forward, prosperity, but then again, I live in San Francisco. They're just gonna increase this super woke ideology, defund the police, like donate to all these like non-GMOs, like to increase the homeless and to increase like the fentanyl consumption. That's what I'm scared about. How do we move forward? Like we need a literal case-by-case study. And then I'm sorry again. I'm just a dude in San Francisco. I followed the Jesuit way. I used to be a Christian, but I lost my way because like they sold out. Because I used to be a student at USF, Jesuit-owned colleges. Now I'm at U of A, Arizona, online. But anyways, I'm just scared. Like, how do we move forward to votes? How do we move forward to, like, try to move ahead of the DeSantis crowd? And then again, you get the people like the honeybee or the yellow jacket. How do we move forward? Because there's like a lot of negativity that will convince people not to vote for the Trump and the RFK Jr. ticket. Because I checked out, honestly. I checked out politics from afar. Because I used to be like, I was all for RFK, but like any positive news was like suppressed. And then I started focusing on my local election. Fuck London Green, because you know what? Kamala Harris is part of that crime syndicate, along with Willie Brown, Gavin Newsom, London Green, there's a whole bunch of them. So of course, they're gonna like vote for her. But over here, like, what do I do, sir? What do I do? I'm sorry, but I'm just rampant. The weather is nice today. The sun is out, and you know, Mark Twain once said, the coolest winter he ever spent was a summer in San Francisco. So how do we move forward? Sorry, sir.
If I can get your thoughts there, if I could just, I want this to be the last thing that gets said about the Yellow Jacket situation for anybody who thinks I was being unfair to her or anything. All right, in these spaces, we do allow people with different points of view to come and speak. Now, with Yellow Jacket, my problem was the first time I heard her talk, and she has been brought up many times in these spaces, she said that Christians are supposed to just let whatever happens, happens.